I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 85 of the BJJ Campaign podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3 blue belt, 4 stripes.
Phil Kors A2, blue belt, 3 stripes.
Yes, it is Phil Kors. Philly, we've got a lot of Gordon Ryan updates since our last podcast.
I bet people can't wait.
I think it's everyone's favorite segment.
Mm-hmm. What's the first one?
First update is ding, 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 ding. Open Guard sold over $1 million worth of copies.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising, we got it. I think that's pretty. How much was? I don't even remember what it was. How much was it? Do you remember?
$200, I think.
$200.
2 or 3, I think.
That's a lot. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of copies.
Yeah.
The math.
Plus, most people have a discount code.
The math for Doug Schluter is that's 5,000 copies at $200 a pop. Probably less than that, but that's pretty incredible whenever you think about it. How many people do you think do BJJ in? Well, I guess you'd have to say worldwide for him because he's not. Certainly, BJJ Fanatics is worldwide. They're not just U.S.
Mm-hmm. How many people do jiu-jitsu? Is that your question?
Yeah.
More than 5,000.
A lot more than 5,000.
At least 10,000.
So you think every other person gets the Gordon Ryan?
Yeah.
I agree. And they probably partner up with the others.
Mm-hmm. So basically everybody's seen it.
Yeah. Well,
how many times I feel like you've looked up how many people do jiu-jitsu?
I know, and I never find a good answer. I'm sitting here Googling it.
I don't think anybody knows.
Oh, the rate of practitioners. What? This is the first time I've actually got an honest answer. Well, I don't know if it's an honest answer. It's an internet honest answer, right? It came up first. Okay. So the per capita rate of BJJ practitioners is 13,000 divided by 13 million. This would give a per capita of 0.001 or 0.1%. That's what that would be.
And pump those numbers up.
All right, I know. Matthew McConaughey, Jeff. I love that one. If you know the U.S. population is 324 million, that's probably about right. Then in the U.S., 324,000 people do jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
I buy it. I buy that.
All right.
I'd buy 500,000.
Okay.
You don't seem that. I'm interested in this. I think that's.
Why?
Well, I mean, obviously, for how many people I got to beat in the worlds.
It's true. They're all coming.
No, not at all. There is no worlds. No,
there was one.
Huh?
There is an IBJJF coming up, Austin.
Yeah, in Austin. You're right.
I didn't see.
Or
any
was
other
it
ones.
already? Was it?
I don't know.
Last weekend?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. People don't listen to this on a regular basis, so it could be next week or a year from now. I can't believe I found the answer. I've looked that up.
You found an answer. I don't know if it's
Don't
the
know
answer.
if it's the answer.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Disclaimer: nothing that we say on here is probably. There's probably some truth to some of it, but not to most of it.
Right.
That's pretty much all our content.
Sounds accurate.
See, that statement alone, inaccurate. Or maybe it was accurate. Yeah,
that was accurate because most of it's inaccurate. Yeah. Sounds like you describing a move.
Bitch. That was, by the way, independently verified. Thank you, Patrick Devins, for hurting my feelings on that. That I indeed don't describe moves as well as I think I do.
That makes perfect sense up there.
It does make perfect sense.
It's because you think in pictures.
All right. I like that. I like that segue, Phil. Mm-hmm. Do you think of nothing in pictures? So whenever we were out doing a little bit of drilling, Phil said, "Do you know that some people think in pictures in their head?" And I'm like, Yeah.
Yeah, because it's mostly just sentences. Like, there's pictures. Not to say I never picture anything, but like it's mostly just words. Like it's like as I'm talking, which is why I think it helps a lot of times when I'm just blabbing to help me think.
And my answer was yes. I think in pictures many times. I thought everybody did. So we both had different thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
It is weird. But whenever I'm describing a move, it's a picture in my head.
Yes.
It's a video. And I feel like I'm commentating perfectly on it whenever I'm not.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I bet to half the people you are.
You might be right. They're picturing it, right? Not just hearing the words. Oh, you're so right. Oh, wait. I wasn't done with my Gordon Ryan updates. Back to that. Second Gordon Ryan update. Gordon Ryan has now had COVID and is over COVID, but it cost him the Ronaldo Jr. Match that was going to be.
They could just reschedule it.
No, because they had the fight to win goes on no matter what, right? And the contracts with the athletes are no matter what. And so Ronaldo Jr., I think it was Lucas Barbosa I think Barbosa won the Hulk. And Gary Tonin was in that one. It was a really good match.
He was? I thought he got it too.
No, Gary Tonin didn't get.
Oh, I thought they all got it.
Didn't get the Rona. No. So that's the second update. So he's over it. So, and then third update is he got a vacation house in Florida where I think his parents are moving to. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
From what I saw, it looked like he was just getting his mom a house.
Oh, okay.
That was what I was getting out of the comments because he was talking to like a fan or something down there.
Yeah.
I saw like a video clip of that. What about the update that you finished the open guard instructional? Did we talk about that? Finishing it?
I don't think so. Did we?
It was good.
It was fantastic.
It's super simple.
Chris tells us we talk about too much instructionals, but you know what? I'm not doing this podcast for him. I'm doing it for me.
I like that one because it's very simple.
It was very simple. And spoiler alert on all Gordon Ryan and John Danaher instructionals, the last section is always the best.
What was the last section of the open guard one?
The real life study of it. When he was going over it, you remember?
Oh yeah, but what was the last technique section?
It didn't matter. It was the last technique section. It didn't matter. It was bringing everything together, and then he was showing it in competition. I love that stuff.
Maybe I think I liked it so much because he focused so much on gripping.
Yeah, like that. Like Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with my hands.
I suck at gripping. That was always what I said was the hardest part because it felt like people just run around me, like in the guard passing drills. Like I can never get a good grip, and they would just like keep going in circles essentially, and is what it always felt like to me. And he spends a lot of time in either gripping or trying to off balance them before the grips, and I think that was why it was so helpful for me. Yeah. That's why it was so helpful for me, I think, is it giving me more of a plan before the grips are set up. Or to make the first grip.
Not on that line. I totally agree with you. I mean, I think that the gripping sequences that he showed were phenomenal, and how to get into those gripping sequences, like switching grips.
Well, I mean, how much time did he spend talking about grips? Number one, like how much time did he spend talking about grips? Hour.
At least.
You know? So like, and then when we go to do the move, I still, like, I don't know what it is. I still would be like, all right, how do you start?
Grip?
How do you start?
You're like, no, he didn't cross grip that. I'm like, yeah, he did, Phil. Yeah, I mean, that was clearly what
I
he
have
was
a hard
doing.
time paying attention sometimes.
That's
you know?
evident. I know the only reason that you watch the instructionals with me is so that I'll get the moves down so that you can then learn them. And guess what? That's the only reason I do the instructionals with you, because then whenever I teach them, I learn more.
Yeah.
So it's really a synergistic relationship we have.
Yeah, because I feel like it makes so much sense when I'm watching it.
Yeah.
That I think my brain just turns off, and then I don't pay attention anymore.
You're just like, it's just like you're just watching something fun, like you're watching cartoons or something.
It's not getting it, but I'm like, I'm all there. You know, I'm right there, but the brain shuts off sometimes. And
because you don't picture it in your head.
That's true. But yeah, after a while, like which is probably why they harp on it so much. But after a while, the gripping thing started to click. that's what I need to focus on. And
I think that's one of the great things, about the Gordon Ryan and Danaher, and I'm sure Gary Tonon's the same thing. But it's that they drill basically 3 core principles of whatever it is into you the whole time, so that like you remember those 3 things, and then it kind of refreshes you about the position. I love that about it. I think that's a really smart way to do it. Repetition.
Yeah. Because there's nothing really fancy. It was just the actual grips of either arm drag or 2-on-1.
Your open guard's way better now. Way better.
I thought it was very helpful.
Yeah.
Just like how to start. Like I wasn't even concerned about the sweeps or anything. It was just, how do I not get past like instantaneously against anybody without even like grabbing something,
Yeah.
So like that repetitive same grips over and over again are just kind of attacking the feet. Super helpful.
Double coochie. Yeah, I mean, you really had no place to go but up, though, on your open guard.
It's really helpful when you start from there, That is also true.
Nah, it's great. I highly recommend it to anyone out there. I mean, it was a fantastic instructional. Well, I don't know how many. It was 8. Was it? No, the Kimura was 8.
How many
8
what?
sections.
It's like 7 to 9 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
They're all long.
They're all long. Yeah. But really good. So whenever you mentioned that knowing what to do with your hands, it kind of brought up another thought that I didn't think about talking about this time, but I kind of want to now. And that is like, and this is based on my limited knowledge of jiu-jitsu. And that is, I feel like the biggest difference, whenever I see a white belt get promoted to blue belt, I feel like the biggest difference in their game is not the collection of techniques, but that they are no longer having rodeo hands, right? And by rodeo hands, I mean, you're actually gripping something whenever you're engaged with someone at all times.
Okay.
Thoughts? No?
Not really.
I feel. I don't know why I thought about it, because I think about, when somebody turns blue belt and they have doubts about if they're a blue belt or not, and then I'll look at them, and when they're engaged, they're gripping, and I'm like, oh yeah, that seems like the differentiator.
So random.
It was random, but that thought just popped in my head visually.
All right.
Moving on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Moving on. I might be totally. I mean, I don't know. That's probably completely wrong. It's all right that it is. Maybe we'll ask John. He'll be like, "No, you're stupid." He won't say that. He'll think it, but he won't say it.
In a picture.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I understand what you're saying.
All right, let's turn it around. What do you think the biggest difference between a white belt and a blue belt is? Don't say some bullshit amateur like time on the mat.
I don't know.
Come on, dude.
I don't know.
Seriously.
That's a weird question.
It's not a weird question.
Some sort of plan somewhere, I guess.
Like what to do and where to grip.
Yeah, I think it's something like, I don't know, I would say some sort of plan somewhere. Like a basic idea of what the different positions are, I guess. And then like at least being like,
again, I don't think it's the only
competent
component
somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think it's the only component. I think you're absolutely right.
I know you don't think it's the only one.
Yeah.
I think it's
the biggest differentiator.
Yeah. Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. Because you're right. I mean, you have to know all the positions. You have to know, like, if I was to say, all right, what are the differences? Like, you have to be somewhat proficient at escapes from every bad positions with people of your same level, right? You have to know a couple of escapes that work for you in every position before you're a blue belt. And you have to have, man, I don't even know how many attacks. I don't think that.
That's what I mean. Like, you kind of have to be like,
I don't know.
I'm saying, like, have a plan. Like, it's not gonna work.
Right.
You know, but like
not against upper belts, right?
But like you know what you're supposed to be doing in a couple places, and then like
I would agree.
You have like one, like I had the close guard. I had a couple ideas that I like thought I really knew what I was doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know what you mean. So you white belts out here there who listen, work on those very specific items that Phil and I just pointed out. You'll be blue belts in no time.
Yeah.
Or not.
What if they took the belts away?
I don't care.
Like
it wouldn't bother me a bit if they took the belts away.
Like,
doesn't matter.
Like zip up keys.
You're on the zip up key again. Jesus Christ. It's more like the streets.
Then you don't have to wash your belts.
It's more like the
streets. And you won't
streets.
spread the virus.
All right, you've converted me. I'm on the zip up key bandwagon. I like it. Excellent. We'll leave that belt conversation for another time. I don't feel like getting into that bullshit. But another thing, back to competition. Boom. September 19th.
I think it's 19th. Yeah, South Carolina. I guess they have different rules down there.
They don't give a fuck in South Carolina. Good. I'm glad.
So,
it's awesome. Yeah.
Should be fun.
That will be fun. Round robin, it's Grappling Industries, right?
I think so, yeah.
Anybody in your weight class, and they could combine weight class. I looked at that. That's awesome. They could combine. And here's the thing.
They always do that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. All right. So they did really nicely because they got good big boy categories, right? So do I lose like 4 pounds to do the 210 or do I do up to the 230?
I don't know. Let's see who has more people.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Yeah. Okay. I don't think they'll probably combine that anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it 30 plus or is there a 40 plus one?
No, there's a 230 plus. So it goes, I think it was 195, and then 210 was the cutoff, and then 230 was the cutoff.
No, years old.
Oh, 40 plus.
There's a 40 plus.
Yeah, it was. Okay. It was. I think it was. I think it was 40.
Some of them only go up to 30, and 30 and older.
No, I think this was 40 plus.
Okay.
I think they had several different categories, but there's no way they're going to have all those categories. 30, 40 plus. I wouldn't mind if they just did 30 and above for everything.
I didn't open up the link to like see what the divisions were yet. Yeah. So, because I don't know if some of them do like 150, some do 155, some do 160. I don't know what it's going to be.
How much you weigh now?
I don't know.
Oh.
It could be anywhere from 160 to 150. I have no idea.
Depending on your ice cream.
Yeah, I don't think I can eat enough.
Yeah. Oh, well. You are getting jacked, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, those t-shirts keep ripping.
So for those out there that don't know, I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? A lot of jiu-jitsu podcasts, Joe Rogan podcast, and James Nestor.
Avalanche podcast.
What?
Avalanche podcast.
I did listen. I don't know why I got on that kick. Why did I get on that
You're about
kick?
to go to Colorado.
Yeah, I was terrified of avalanches. You're right. I was terrified. So I was like, all right, I'm going to educate myself on avalanche. And it really did actually educate me. It was pretty good. I'm still terrified of avalanches. But James Nestor was on Joe Rogan, and his book is called Breathe. And I'm reading it right now, but listen to the podcast. I'd highly encourage everyone to listen to it. I think we've talked before about breathing on here with Wim Hof. I think that's a great method. So did James Nestor. He thought it was a great method. But he was talking about the importance of breathing through your nose and not mouth breathing. And, you know, a lot of the difficulties, a lot of the asthmas that people are experiencing today are from a lot of sleep apneas are from not breathing through your nose. And so, it's only been like a week but I'm really focusing on when rolling. And I know it's harder, right? It's harder to breathe through your nose the whole time, even whenever you're gassed. But he's saying that's especially when you want to do it, because it's whenever you hyperventilate, it's getting more CO2 in, not necessarily more.
Even on the exhale? Because a lot of times you'd hear breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth.
It's okay. Well, he says, so in order to, and I think I understand this correctly, but in order to expand your nasal, I think he said conchi, like a conch shell, that they're the little turbinates in your nose. In order to expand that and make that cavity bigger, that whenever you breathe in, it's a, and then whenever you breathe out, so it's a more diaphragmatic breathing in. Whenever you breathe out, it's a, right? And then I blow snot like that every time whenever I do that.
Yeah.
But it's a very forceful, powerful, I might have the Rona. No, I don't. Very forceful, powerful out breath through the nose. But I don't think that's as important whenever you're training. Like, just that breathing in through the nose slows the breath down. And again, he says it's even more important because the oxygen that you take in, while yes, you can't breathe in through your nose as fast as you can breathe in through your mouth, it's the carbon dioxide, not the oxygen, because you've already got your blood is oxygenated enough. What you're doing is now taking in more carbon dioxide whenever you hyperventilate.
He was talking about on the podcast, he talked about how, what I thought was weird, it's how like the nose will like regulate temperature and filter everything first. So even though you're getting less, you're able to use much more of it. I thought that was cool. I
did too. Highly recommend it. Again, James Nestor on Joe Rogan, and I got the book. I'm like 4 or 5 chapters in. It's really good. It's a really good book. You know, really interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that book out at some point. I wanted to look into that one. I always forget like when it actually comes to the rolling, but in the warm ups and stuff, I do remember to try to only breathe through the nose.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it helps. And
Jeremy Rell did that in a video. He said for new people when they're starting out, he tells them to only breathe through their nose.
That's smart.
And
I didn't
it's
realize
to combat like large spazzy new people. Because it slows them down.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a good habit to try to do.
John
anyway.
said the same. Well, it was just breathe normally. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that's good advice for people who are starting out. I think it's really good advice for them.
Yeah.
And they also, you know, if you're new to jiu-jitsu and you kind of, you're rolling with someone who's been doing jiu-jitsu for a little while and you're like, why are they not tired? Because I'm really worn out going with them. Well, there's 2 reasons for that, right? One is they probably are breathing better because they don't have that fight or flight response that, I guess that now that I think about that, I was like, did you see the light bulb in my head just now? I guess that fight or flight response just goes away, because I remember having it distinctly whenever I was underneath the legs when I was very new and I was freaking out. You just freaking out. And I don't get that anymore. Inoculation. That's what it is. Interesting. That's pretty cool.
I didn't have a whole lot of fight. I just assumed I was going to die.
All the time.
Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of fight.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, let's see what happens this time.
Have your way with me.
It wasn't good. Yeah.
But no, it's probably a combination of things, right? It's probably a combination of that, you know, that fight or flight response is gone from them, and that neuroepinephrine or neuroadrenaline is, that dump is gone. And 2 is they're probably using a lot less energy than you, because you know, whenever a lot of times you see the newer people, everything that they do, it's like 100%. You know, it's like you with grips in tournaments.
Yeah. Got it.
But yeah, I mean, that's the reason. Is it's not that they have some insane cardio. They might be really physically fit, but it's probably more that
Nah, man.
No.
Whenever you go against somebody brand new, my cardio is really good.
Yeah.
Whenever I go against somebody better than me, my cardio is not so good anymore.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. That reminds me of yesterday, wherever we were doing it. I just got done rolling with Ryan, and and then Jay was like, "Jeff, come on, let's go." I was like, "That's the best time to get me, Jay. Very best time to get me." I would do the same.
Just follow Ryan around. And,
You were saying it the other day too.
Did it a week ago. Following him, I was behind him
Got
in
a
line.
lot easier rolls if you just follow Ryan around.
Yeah. Cardio feels great today.
Oh, that's hilarious. So true. Anything else to add to the importance of breathing?
No, because I haven't experimented with it a lot yet because I keep forgetting. But it's on my list.
There's a lot of resource material too on YouTube, guided meditations. If you look up like guided meditations breathing, and just remember, instead of, if they, on a lot of them, they don't say this in through the nose, out through the mouth. If they say in through the nose, out through the mouth, just do it with both nose. I mean, that's going to give you more benefit from it, from what the
So
book
you're saying
read.
by exhaling all the time through the nose, it stretches out the
It makes
pathway or
it
whatever.
makes your sinus or your turbinates and your sinus cavity, it makes it larger.
Okay.
Yeah, it expands it. Is what he said.
To make your face bigger.
You heard that part of the podcast, right? Where the expansion of back up a step. So a lot of the ancient cave people that were found, their skulls, whenever they found them, all their teeth were straight. And they're like, why are all their teeth straight? Well, all their teeth are straight because they had more chewing. They averaged chewing for 4 hours a day. Can you imagine chewing for 4 hours a day? I mean,
No, not really.
yeah. So whatever they're eating, bark on trees or raw meat or a tendon from a leg or whatever of an animal that they kill, they're chewing, and they're chewing on one side. And that chewing on one side, what it did is you have a fissure that's right in the center. If your hard palate on top of your mouth, you can feel the line in the hard palate on your top of your mouth. It's like a suture that's in your skull too, that can expand, right? And so what he was saying is he utilized this device that actually expanded his mouth, made his mouth wider, and it grew his bone by 5 pennies in a year. And it also got rid of his recurrent pneumonia, asthma, and all that stuff because it made that with the breathing made his nasal cavity bigger and less prone to infections and such. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, he said it's the only place adults can grow bone.
Yeah. After 30 or 40, something like that. Guess we're losing bone. So
It's weird.
yeah, it is weird. But very interesting. Highly recommend it. And highly recommend.
Are you guys thinking about your breathing yet?
My favorite.
Now you're blinking.
There's a 22-minute one that my buddy Luke, you remember Luke that was here
Yes.
to try jiu-jitsu. So Luke sent me this one guided meditation. It was all breathing. And it was this Indian lady. And it was so funny because it's my favorite one yet. I love it. I do it every night now. And so it's breathe in on 1, breathe out on 2. And she's the whole time, like 22 minutes, she's there going, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's like, it's hilarious. It's really good. But really easy to go along with too. And it does make you feel some kind of way too, man. It's like, it like calms you, like really, I don't know. It works. I think any kind of guided meditation is a good thing, but it really works.
You almost said medication.
Guided medication. Yes, you should be guided when you're taking medication by a physician, hopefully. Very good. So we just got done. We got done with the open guard instructional with Gordon Ryan. We finished the Kimura.
I got bored. I couldn't do it.
What did we
do
get to? 5?
Dude, yeah, that's a lot though.
It's a lot.
And
That's
I watched
like
the last
15
one.
hours.
So I think we only skipped 2.
Did we?
I think so.
And you went and watched them, you cheater.
I watched the last one.
It's always the best.
It's boring. Yeah, I'm really bad at it though. So, I don't know.
Man, I'm just going to say it. I don't think it's that hot a take, to be honest with you. I think John Danaher's a genius in jiu-jitsu and probably other aspects of what he does. But man, is he hard to listen to for that amount of time?
Yeah. So I think I've thought about this. I'm assuming when he teaches class, it's much different.
For sure.
But when he tries to cover an entire subject in a video, that everything feels like it needs to be gone over.
Yeah.
So it's much different than the normal class because he's hilarious on Instagram.
100%. I love it. Like, I feel bad saying this about it. Like, because
you're going to be best friends soon.
Well, yeah, obviously, but not whenever he hears this, because he listens.
Because he likes your Instagram posts, so he's obviously been listening.
He does. Yes, that's right. He did.
Yeah, so I think it's just because I hate that position because I suck at it. Mm-hmm. To be clear, I hate it because I suck at it. Mm-hmm. So it kind of got...
you suck at it because you hate it.
Yeah, also. It was getting really deep in all these other weird transitions, and I'm like, I can't get the one from side mount, so I don't think I need to worry about that yet. So I just turned it off.
Again, still I found the best way to listen to instructionals, I think.
What?
If you get one thing, which you got out of it.
Two. Attacking it from the triangle position when they hide the arm on the other side, because that comes up a lot. And then also from the back take position, because I grabbed that Kimura grip anyway. So like, but that again goes into finishing a triangle from the back. Mm-hmm. But that was kind of what I was saying before we even started. Is it's like I should be able to at least use this to sweep or something, because I'm not gonna finish a bunch of Kimuras like straight up until I figure out how not to suck at it so bad. Mm-hmm. Just because of the typical size differences, I'm usually smaller. But I should be able to use the position for sweeping and advancing and things. And because I totally avoid it all the time, because I always feel like it's going to get reversed on me, I feel like I'm missing a lot of things. Same as I felt with the leg locks, where it's like there's opportunities for other things other than just the submission that I'm missing because I'm avoiding it. So that's why I didn't want to avoid the Kimura stuff.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
It was on sale.
Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to it. I'll be honest with you, because I like the Kimura. It's one of the things that I liked from the very start of jiu-jitsu. But you know what? I actually learned a lot, and it was I got a lot out of that. I got a lot out of that instructional for sure.
Yeah, I think it just goes back to, for my personal like jiu-jitsu development, of just making sure I don't avoid everything that I dislike. Because I usually end up liking it once I figure out how to do it a little bit anyway, Yeah. So it's just, another thing that I don't like doing it, so I should probably figure out how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, jiu-jitsu's all about, overcoming being uncomfortable, right? I mean, and that's just another part of it. I think the better you get, sometimes the more comfortable you get. And I think it is a challenge sometimes to get out of that comfort of whatever it is that's a trapping of a position that's maybe your A game or whatever, and staying with that, rather being more well-rounded and keeping in that discomfort. I think that's where the growth always lies. So yeah, I think that's wise of you to do so.
Because it was the same thing with trying to look at the leg lock videos before, but I watched them by myself. And if I don't drill, it's not like we're spending hours out there, but if I don't spend a few minutes trying to do it, I'm not going to remember anything, But it's just, anytime I notice that I'm actively avoiding something that other people, works on me all the time, So
yeah. No, I agree. I agreed with us starting it, and I agreed with you when we stopped it.
Yeah.
We'll revisit it some other point in time, maybe a couple years from now. That's the beauty of it. We'll always have it. We can use it as reference material. Moving on. What am I really bad at in jiu-jitsu? Oh, there's a lot of things I'm really bad at, but in jiu-jitsu.
Back rolls.
Yes. Yeah.
And rear naked chokes.
True. That cut
That one
deep.
cut deep,
That
yeah.
cut deep, Phil. That was not expected. I was expected the back roll. All right. A little hurt. You go.
Yeah.
You go now.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. Well, you said the other night you didn't get the move at all that we did in class, and then we went back the next morning and you did get it. But the move wasn't new. He did the move the night before, but he like put another application to it, so it made more sense to me in that way.
Do you want me to describe it? No, I'm not going to.
So basically, when your guard is getting past and like you get into a turtle position, then you just put your butt in their face and roll.
Yeah. Move your
get your
leg
guard
forward,
back.
put your butt in their face, and roll.
So I was having a hard time figuring out which side to go with the first application. The second one, it made a lot of sense, but it needed work because I was kind of going flat a lot versus staying up high and using it as like shoulder to hip frame. But drilling it a little bit made a little more sense. But you said you struggled with it.
Oh, I mean, it was like it made me feel like I'd never done jiu-jitsu before. Whenever I was doing, was like, and sitting, thank God, John saw I was struggling like mightily, and he came over and he doesn't usually do that. Like, I'll call him over and ask him like whenever I have a question or something, but I didn't call him over. He was just like, all right, this needs to stop. This needs to stop right now. You're terrible at this. He didn't say that. He should have. But yeah, and it's yet another lesson of, you know what, we drilled it for 10 minutes today, maybe 15,
Less than that, maybe 5.
maybe 5. No, we did more than 5.
I don't think so.
We didn't. 5 minutes. I'm a pro. Not really, but I'm not incompetent at it now, you know? So that's one of those things, like I'm keeping it in my, you know, whenever we're doing warm-ups and they say, what do you want to do? And you just stare at each other for like 10 minutes. I never do that anymore because I always have that bank. I'm like, all right, I'm horrible at this and I'm horrible at this. And I always want to do Eminari rolls. So that's what I do. Top tip. Know what you're bad at. Work on it.
Eventually, it becomes what you're good at.
Yeah. Right. I don't know. Might be good, may not be. If you're struggling to visualize this position, look up Marcelo Garcia and Braulio Estima rolling. And it's like a 14-minute video of them rolling. And Braulio Estima does this. He's pretty good at it. So really, I think a really important part of guard recovery that I was lacking. So I'm excited about that. Like, I'm excited about trying it more, and what's going to happen? I'm going to
do the drill on the wall?
Yeah, I mean, probably not.
No?
Maybe.
That'd be a good way to
I feel like I'm
practice
going
it,
to
he
be
said.
a lot better at it now.
Okay.
Almost.
I figured out how to do the basic roll, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. No, Phil, I'm going to expand. Just
Doubling
let
down.
me do it.
He said, I think what killed it was, I think he called it a fundamental guard recovery technique. I think that just, you lost all interest when you heard that word.
Doubling down on fundamentals. Don't ask me how many fundamental classes I've
There's an
been to.
attendance record.
Let's see. What else? So yeah, man, that's just, keep in mind what you're bad at and just work on it. And even a very small amount of time, it does wonders for you. So
Yeah, I think that going back the next day and doing it again has been super helpful.
so much easier, right?
Yeah. Spend the majority of the first time trying to figure out how to do it and then seeing it again and then actually getting reps in to try to build a little bit of muscle memory.
Yeah. Not to mention your partner's like, man, you got this down. This might be your move. Like, no, this is our second class doing it. We were terrible at it.
Yeah.
That's why we came back now.
So I messed this all up last night, so I wanted to try again.
Like
and,
every way possible, mess it up. I mean. Oh, another topic I wanted to cover, and that is when to tap. Right? When do you tap, Phil?
When I have to.
With everybody? Nope.
I mean, it depends.
Right. What's it depend on? Here's what brought me to this line of thinking, this conversation, and I can't. It was somebody yesterday or Wednesday. It was Wednesday when Charlie and I were rolling. You know, whenever we roll, it's like that we like doing the leg stuff. So it's just kind of known we're gonna do leg attacks and all kinds of fun stuff, right? And I had Charlie in that single leg X Ashigrami position, and I had his heel, right? We were doing no-gi round. I had his heel, and he dove under and took my heel, and like I didn't have his heel real clean, and so I wasn't pulling or anything, and he got my heel clean, and then he took it, you know, I felt it, boom, tap, right? Mm-hmm. Felt him doing it, and somebody said, that's why I don't do heel hooks. I don't know when to tap. And I was like, well, there's no reason that you should avoid a technique. Now, disclaimer, if your gym doesn't allow you to certain belt levels to do certain things, then don't do it. That's not really how our academy is. Like, I feel like we're pretty well encouraged to do whatever in a safe manner of training. And the people who are doing the heel hooking, Charlie's a brown belt. He knows what he's doing, you know, applying the submission. And, you know, if you're doing those positions and like, I'm not going to grab a heel hook and I'm not going to wrench on it. I'm going to grab it cleanly and I'm going to hold it. And if they don't tap, I'm just going to go on. I'm going to let go of it and go on. Mm-hmm. Right. That's my responsibility to keep my training partners safe just as much as their responsibility. And I don't care that much about the tap. They probably, if I'm getting it on them, and yes, I will hook white belts. No, not really, but I'll get in the position, right? Mm-hmm. Just to let them know what the position looks like. But that when to tap is different. It's different times for all different situations and all different whenever you're at different levels, right? Mm-hmm. Because a white belt, whenever they're getting choked, they're terrified. Like if they're new, they're terrified and they're going to tap really quick, right? So
sometimes,
not all the time. You're right, not all the time. But as you get better at defending techniques, the timing on your tap changes, right? Because like now, I am not going to tap to you with a choke unless I'm like maybe a half second away from going out, because I'm going to continue to try to defend. Mm-hmm. And I think that's acceptable, you know, and you're the same way with me, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not going to happen, but, you know, if there's someone who's particularly rough, maybe tap particularly early, right? And then that might open up the conversation like, hey man, what? I didn't really even have that. You'd be like, yeah, you know, but whenever you take that, you know, let's say it's a Kimura, right? Whenever you take that Kimura, you take it really hard, and I've got trash for shoulders. So I just tap early. Mm-hmm. And, you know, then they might be like, and that's an easy way. Like that's not offensive at all, is it? When I say it like that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about offending your training partners by like accusing them of going too hard. You just, they ask a question, you give an answer. Mm-hmm. Right. And
what about like new people when it's like not really like they're doing it right, but it's not really right? What about that?
Nope. Well,
Like if they're learning the move, like if they're going for the move you just learned in class.
Mm-hmm. If they're going for the move that we just learned in class, and they get all the steps correct in that move,
but it's still like bad. It's right, but it's just bad.
Well, I don't know. You tell me, Phil. What do you do?
I guess it depends. A lot of times, though, I give it to him.
I will too, a lot of times. But again, it depends.
I guess it depends how bad.
Yeah. Yeah, like if it's not at all even close.
Yeah.
Like
there's got to be some adjustments.
Right.
I do hate coaching people too much.
I'm not going to coach them through it. Don't be that person.
Yeah.
Don't be that person. But after you tap, you can say, hey, man, you might want to tighten that up by doing this or something.
You know what I've done is I have told people to stop quitting on it.
Yeah.
Like they'll let go of a choke and I'm like, don't let go of that.
Yeah.
Like you have it.
Right. Right. And you don't have the bald head, so they can't tell. They don't have my tail. It's a really bad. That's one of the.
Your head turns purple.
It's one of the very few detriments to not having hair. I like not having hair in general, but whenever you're choking me, you can see whenever. Like I might not show it on my face at all, but my head and that two giant veins.
Yeah.
You see it, and you're like, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
That purple.
He's going out.
Well, what's funny too, speaking of that, we were doing triangles and Molly's entire face is purple and I just let go and I'm like, why aren't you tapping? And she's like, oh, I can still breathe. I was like, that's not how this one works.
No, it's not at all how that works.
I need you to tap on that one next time. So
I can still breathe. You know what? I like her fortitude on that.
Yeah.
I can still breathe. You know, I'm not going out.
Yeah. So anyway, tap on that one. That would be a good time to tap.
Yeah, tap on that one. Let's see. I'm trying to think of different situations. Here's another one. Whenever you're going with your professor, your coach, or whatever, and you're defending something and you're doing it, you know, you're trying your best. It's not there. I'm going to hold on to the very last minute that I can on anything. I'm not going to tap until not arm locks. I'll tap on arm locks before they get straightened out. So I don't like that. And Kimuras. I'll tap early on Kimuras. My shoulders are trash.
Yeah, my shoulders are always sore.
Yeah.
You know what the worst feeling for my shoulder is? What? When they pass my arm across in the triangle.
It's terrible.
I don't know when that started being so painful, but that's like the most painful movement. Like I'd almost rather get Kimura than have that motion.
That one, and I'll tell you the other one that I tap immediately and it's just a pass. And that is when Legs does that arm stuff behind the back pass. Like when he stuffs my arm back there, that one doesn't bother me so much. It doesn't?
That one doesn't. No, it's this overhead motion when they pass, but that one feels like my shoulder is
that behind
terrible.
The back, it feels like he's absolutely ripping my shoulder out of my socket.
It feels like there's stuff in there that's grinding.
Yeah,
like
for sure is. Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's not good. Scar tissue that's not going away. But maybe when we get PRP in our shoulders, might help.
Yeah, that one motion. The Kimura sometimes, but
Kimura all the time for me.
But that one like overhead thing, I'd rather. I pass you on myself.
Yeah.
Let me help you with that.
Here, I'm glad. It's good. I'm out.
Pass out from the pain.
Yeah. You know what, too? You know what I'll say this, too, is if I'm visiting another gym, like I'm always going to be very defensive as far as whenever I'm rolling with somebody, especially an upper belt or something like that. I'm going to tap more frequently.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I think so.
I'm going to get in more positions, things that I wouldn't normally do, just so they see like I'm just here to. I'm here to have fun, man. I'm just here to train. I'm not, there's no world championships going on right now.
Makes sense.
You know? So I will say I think that's the last one. I think there's a lot of nuance to tapping, and you're going to find, you know, I found in the years that I've done it, it changes, like the different things, it changes, you know, where whenever I started out, I would certainly tap earlier to everything, you know, and then like whenever I had 2 or 3 stripes on my white belt, I wasn't tapping to anything until it was bad. And then it was like, oh, that's a bad idea. It's a horrible idea to do that. You get hurt that way. Mm-hmm. And now I think it's a really good balance of knowing that. And that's, you know, taking me 3+ years to learn like those situations, I think.
Yeah.
So
And still with the leg stuff too. Like I just stop and just see what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't resist much. So that way they don't feel the need to like rip anything on. But I would do that all the time when I was first starting, is just basically see what they want to do next to kind of learn.
Oh, I find myself doing that whenever I roll with John or Steve or somebody who's Will or somebody that's really good. I find myself looking, or Lee, looking and being like, all right, what's he doing? Because I want to do that. I want to do that sometime.
Like, so we were practicing the one like kind of knee cut position where you step back into the cross ashi, I think, saddle, whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do from there. I just know that that's a good follow-up to when I get in a really bad position and they get the underhook.
To not get the back taken.
I was doing it with Marty or whatever. He's a brown belt. And I got into the position. I was like, well, I don't know what to do next. So I'm just going to sit here and see what you do. So. Yeah.
And 2, you know, if you're not familiar with that position, what's the one thing that you don't do if you're not familiar with the position, Phil?
Hide from it.
That. The other thing is to explode out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not the correct thing to do. No matter.
Dynamic.
Do not do that. Because if they got that heel hook and they don't let go, you rip your own knee apart, you know, and that's, that first is terrible for you. And it's also terrible for your training partner because they feel bad that they hurt you, you know, whenever it was really your mistake. But yeah, I mean, in that, you know, and I'll do this a lot after I'll tap. You know, I'll be like, all right, so what should I have done there? You know, I'll always ask Will, like, what should I have done? Well, you should have done this, but if you did that, I always do this, which then gets you thinking on another pathway too. So that's always a good thing too. Mm-hmm. So, Philly, tell the folks out there how they can support us if they choose to do so.
Share the podcast and, buy a small to large rash guard.
Right. Yeah, small to large.
I think we have a lot of t-shirts left if you want a t-shirt.
I think we do. Hoodies are going like crazy now because it's really cold.
Yeah, it's true.
And also our Japanese translations for jiu-jitsu will be out. It's going to be a purchasable option.
All right, cool. We'll do a podcast in Japanese one day.
Still going to work. Still working on that. And going on right now. What's going on right now, Phil? Role model camp, man.
Did it start? Is it this weekend?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Jen and Diane sent me an Insta video.
Okay.
Saying, hey.
They're streaming the seminars. I saw that this morning.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize it was this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I hope they all have a great time. Good for them. And folks, if you're not out there doing something each and every day to make yourself better, get out there and do it. Phil and I choose jiu-jitsu. We hope you do too.
I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it go. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.